Hey folks, this is Jacen Rays. Sorry I didn't do a video for last month. I kept saying I needed to, but I didn't. I'm going to be doing a couple of them this month, and I'm hoping to do an extra one to kind of make up for last month. But this first one's not going to feature any of the adult stuff I usually do in it, so I'm going to be talking about 4 games today, or at least in this video. I'm going to do a couple others in my next one. The first two kind of coincide. They are the games Satisfactory and Factorio. Both are factory base building games that are kind of cool. Satisfactory's a bit newer than Factorio, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. Excuse me. Factorio's actually one of my more favorite games because it's not necessarily about attacking and bloodshed. Even though that you do have to defend yourself from these creatures called biters. Well, there's biters, spitters, whatever, but they're alien life forms. And even though I kind of wish the graphics were a bit more realistic, they are still kind of cool for what they are. They kind of remind me of a lot of the early Roller Coaster Tycoon games, or at least that style of game. But you can actually turn the alien life forms onto peaceful, so they just kind of sit there. But I don't know. I think games need to have excitement every once in a while. So if you don't have that, maybe you can have like malfunctioning equipment or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool to have in that game. This whole setup where you have to take care of malfunctioning equipment for random reasons. That's not necessarily something that needs to happen, but it'd be kind of cool to see. Satisfactory, the one main difference between the two, and I wish Satisfactory would do something similar to this, but is that Factorio has machines that actually build like other complete machines. Now, the way Satisfactory is set up, it wouldn't work as well to have it like you can build an entire machine, but it wouldn't be bad if they could like make it to where you could have machines like build their portable miners or some power poles. Those would be kind of interesting things to have happen, because power poles and portable miners don't require as big of an area. Although Satisfactory has something that I recently discovered was kind of cool and a rather big device, and that was the space elevator, and oh boy, that was a piece of work. That was a really big piece of equipment. Anyway, Satisfactory is kind of cool because it's this first-person view 3D game, and you can actually also build vertically. So if you want to save on space, you can build things on top of other things, which is kind of interesting. Granted, you also have to have the room, so that's a thing. They're both, in my opinion, pretty cool games. You may not have all the graphics required for Satisfactory. Factorio doesn't have a huge graphics requirement, so it can work a little bit easier. Excuse me. I just got up recently, so to move on to the next game, because that's all I'm going to say on those. Although I may come back to them in the future because I feel like I left that off. But the next one I want to talk about is the Raft game. It's a solo survival mode game, and it's not exactly base building. It does kind of have a base building element because you're out on the open ocean with nothing but you and this small dinky raft, and you got to protect yourself with it, and also get all the equipment necessary to make it to the next area. So there is kind of a base building element to it, but it's not to the extent of like Grounded or even Factorio and Satisfactory, where you really need those bases. You're just kind of building a big enough thing to get to the end. So it doesn't necessarily need all the big base building things. It's more of a survival, so you're mainly looking to keep up on food and water, along with a couple other things. And also, not to mention, you have to watch out for the shark. Anyway, really interesting game. I think it's a really intriguing game. I kind of wish there was a bit more to it, but I can see why they might leave one or two things off of it. Not to mention, it really feels like you're the last person on Earth or wherever it is that the raft is supposed to be. I'm not sure. But, still intriguing game. Really like the game. I'd like to, I've made a channel for it on my Twitch account, which is Jacen's Games. So, please look that up. I'm also going to be trying to get it to where it comes into YouTube and Patreon, but that may not happen for a bit yet. Another intriguing game would be Final Fantasy Online, which I've been playing that and showing that on my Twitch as well. I've actually made it to Shadowbringers. I'm actually in post-Shadowbringer content right now. Really intriguing storyline. Sometimes the cutscenes get a bit bothersome because sometimes they have cutscenes when they're not really, in my opinion, necessary. But I do like some of the cutscenes, and they are really intriguing. Some of them are actually pretty funny too. So, if you haven't played it yet, I'd suggest playing it. A lot of other, apparently, YouTubers are making the jump to it, like Asmongold. Haven't really seen what he's done on it. One of my sister, Saria Terencia, who's one of the main, in my opinion, main gamers for Final Fantasy XIV. She follows this other YouTuber, or VTuber, I guess, called Pyromancer. He's on Twitch, and she's liking what he's doing apparently. So he might be somebody you might check out if you feel so inclined. Also check out my sister. Her name's, as I said, Saria Terencia. She has this Discord called Saria's Rose Garden. Please check her out. She does really good. I could name a few others, but that's all I'm going to do for today. So, if you feel like it, check those games out. I'll talk to you next time.